Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For today's podcast episode, we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's new zombie movie, Army of the Dead. This movie is very entertaining. Not only that, but I had a lot of fun with it. The music in it is really good. To me, the music actually feels like a Las Vegas soundtrack, to be honest with you, and a lot of foreshadowing with the music as well. Then also, too, we're not going to go scene by scene per se. We are going to actually just give you our thoughts on it, give you guys everything that you need to know about Army of the Dead. But I had a lot of fun with this movie. This movie is very entertaining. And this is just from experience from watching the other trailers and stuff like that. If you actually watched the trailers I did with Frenchie and Charlie and everything, I was kind of underwhelmed with the little teasers that we got. And then finally I was sold on a trailer that I really loved and everything after that. But I was actually sold on the cheesiness of this, the aspect of it. This is a whole different Snyder than what we are normally have. Normally we have like slow motion moving parts in the movie and stuff like that. We don't have that in this one. It's a very different stylistic way of how we filmed this movie. And let's just go ahead and go into the groundwork real quick. What pretty much is going on here is this. You actually have a couple that just got married and they're going to Vegas. And then also, too, you also have a military convoy that's delivering something that is hush-hush, and the convoy and his partner are actually having a back-and-forth conversation as to what they think they might be carrying, and things like that. And I like the speculation that the military is actually having with each other, because it does remind us of going on a road trip and having a conversation with one another about Area 51, about zombies, stuff like that. Just things like that they were having a conversation about. But like I said, this married couple wind up being very sexual on this trip and everything, and causes them to actually hit the convoy. Who knew a BJ would actually cause the zombie apocalypse? That's all I want to say. You know,
I mean, come on. This one was very, like, I gotta admit, sorry to cut you off there, but
no, go ahead.
Very cheesy. Like, this is very, like, when you're like, oh, wow, like, a government's holding this secret thing. Oh, yeah, it's like, when has any zombie apocalypse ever been not caused by the government? Of course it was. They're the ones, like, they contained this thing, and this happy couple, you just knew instantly when you kept showing the back-to-back shots of the military and the guy getting a BJ, you just knew they were going to crash the car and it'll blow up. I mean, this one was the opening, like, you just know going in, like, oh boy, like, it was very cheesy. I thought it was hilarious because, like,
something's going to work though, right? But I mean, it works very well.
Yeah, it works for this, but it's just like, I mean, you could see this coming literally a mile away. Like, I mean, and you just knew, like, deep down, I kind of knew something was in that container because I've seen so many zombie movies and the government's like, oh, we need to transport this because we need to weaponize this. Like, it's all about weaponizing stuff. I'm like, how about leave it alone? And then, oh yeah, like, let's nuke our area. Let's cover up our mistake. Yeah, you made a mistake and you should cover it up. Dicks.
Right. Anyways,
yeah. So guy gets some head and he dies.
But you know what though? I really like the whole the music output of this though, to be honest with you. With Elvis singing I'm caught in a trap and I just can't get out of the trap.
I mean,
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect foreshadowing.
Right, it was very Zombieland-esque. The opening was very Zombieland. This one was more graphic than the Zombieland opening. But I mean, it was like it tells you everything you need to know of, like, and you get snippets of the team. You get snippets of the team, or part of it at least.
Right, and that's what I want to get at though too. Like, I knew instantly if you see the poster and everything, you already know what you're in for, basically. Pretty much. Just the 80s style of the poster and stuff like that, the nostalgia factor of the 80s. So it's going to seem like it's that kind of type of movie. So it actually sets. So another thing though, too, I want to mention is the fact that this sets the tone. The music sets the tone for what you're going to get and what to expect from the movie. That's something I really liked about it. We have Viva Las Vegas playing in the background by Elvis. Of course, it wouldn't be a Vegas movie without Elvis, baby. That's all I gotta say.
Mhm.
But you know, I love that though. I love the fact that you actually have Leave of Las Vegas playing in the background as these zombies are tearing through Vegas, biting everybody, stuff like that. And then also too, it also changes the theme and everything too, because even with the Vegas showgirls and everything too, it actually has that showgirls kind of theme song for them, a Pacific theme. That's another thing I really liked about it, was the theme of it. And then it switches right back over to Leave of Las Vegas and everything, but it's more of a slowed down version of Leave of Las Vegas after that.
Yeah.
Which is I want to say it's the same girl that did the Snyder cut for Hallelujah that did these songs.
Oh, okay.
Because I love how impactful that how she sings these songs, and I'm glad that he actually kept her as a collaborator with this. But I loved it. I loved how they did that, and also too, I liked how they actually go into each character of Batista's, like you mentioned, Charlie, where it shows the emotional impact of what Batista's had to go through, the calls that he had to go make, and everything else as a person who's actually in charge. Which also reminds me of The Walking Dead and everything as well, because of all the stuff that Rick had to do and everything, and all the calls that he had to go through. So as a leader and everything, Batista has to go through that whole entire thing as well. And then, of course, I like the chainsaw thing at the very beginning, which I wish that they actually used throughout the whole movie, not just in that small thing. But still, it works. This level of cheesiness actually works for what it is. It's a very simplistic plot. You have a billionaire who winds up calling Batista and says, hey, look, I have a heist job for you. I'll give you $50 million if you go ahead and get my money out of this vault. I'll give you a helicopter and everything you need. All you need to do is assemble the team to do it. So Batista, I like how Batista's actually hesitant at first, and he doesn't just say, yes, we'll do it. He's like, let me think about it. And then the next day, that's when he formulates the team. So I'm going to go on ahead and let you pick up with the formulation of the team and everything.
I want to go back to the opening a little bit. Like, I love the introduction of the zombie, like that alpha guy, like that guy was vicious. Like, I mean, that's like the brute that, I mean, ripping people's heads off, ripping the guy's jaw off. I was like, damn! Like when he read, I mean, and then he bites the army guy, and then what do you know? The zombies are attracted to light. Yay, they're in Vegas. Like, and then that's how they got there. But the opening was cool. Like, the best kill was that chainsaw, like that buzzsaw. That's why I had to say tease, because you teased us and you figure we're gonna get more of that, and you keep emphasizing that, and I'm like, oh, like that. I'll get into that as a disappointment in a bit. But the opening was cool. It was very Zombieland-esque, and I thought it was great. And then that was all in the beginning. So that scene of all you see all the zombies out on the other side, that was in the trailer. That was all in the beginning. So it didn't spoil anything.
And they actually saved it. To be honest with you, you remember how my biggest complaint was they didn't show us enough?
I know.
I'm actually glad now that they didn't show us enough, because of the fact that it would have actually spoiled what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
I also want to mention this real quick, though. It also feels like a very Planet of the Apes kind of style movie, if you think about it, though, too.
Yeah.
We actually see a fucking zombie on a horse.
I know.
And then you actually see the Statue of Liberty, from one of the scenes. Yes. So it felt like a Planet of the Apes kind of style, the way that Snyder actually did, like little nods here and there. That's just me looking at it, but I don't know if you saw the same aspect as I did, though.
I didn't think of it as Planet of the Apes at the time. I was just thinking like this in watching the movie as it is. I didn't pick up on that. But now that you mention it, I remember that, like, yeah, it makes sense. This world is run by the zombies. They're not like that line is like, oh, they're not survivors. This is their kingdom. And like then that line. So it was like, oh, okay. But going back to the team, I love the team. I thought there was the chemistry between them. Like, I loved Batista. I loved the black guy and then the girl. I like that they just had their chemistry. And then Tig, the girl, the pilot. I think I can't remember her last name, but her first name was Tig. She was great. Like, she was very sarcastic. Like, dude, $2 million, I'm in. Do you even know what it is? No, I'm in.
Oh, the pilot's name is Marine Peters.
Oh, Peters, that's right. So it's Batista, Scott, Peter. It was Scott, Peters, Dieter was the British
Ludwig. Yeah, Ludwig. Yeah. Dieter.
Dieter. Yeah, Dieter.
Dieter. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what the. I forgot. I'll look up the cast name.
No. I got it right here. I got. Then you also have Mikey Gunsman, who's just basically a YouTuber who is a sharpshooter, who is basically. I like how they do that though, but I'm gonna let you go on ahead and talk about some of that other stuff.
Okay.
But he's actually a sharpshooter. He's also teamed up with his other partner, Chambers.
Yes, badass.
Chambers is just a fucking badass. I love her character.
I loved it. Yeah, and I mean, I hated the douche Martin. I knew Martin. Oh, I'm going with you. I'm like, yeah, you're bad. I knew something. Nope. I knew there's for these zombie movies, there's always the government official that's always in there that always has alternative motives. That's going with them. I mean, it's kind of I kind of like the formulaic portion. That's like I kind of knew since I've seen a lot of zombie movies. I knew he was bad. It's like I said, I've seen so many, so it's following along the same formulated plot. But seeing him get ripped up by the zombie tiger, the one he was so afraid of from the get-go, that was just poetic justice.
Definitely, but also too, he didn't actually work for the government per se. He was actually part of that Japanese billionaire.
Yeah, but they were working with the U.S. government because you see when the guy when the Japanese guy he answered the call and he looked back and he was dealing with a lot of military people. They said they're in. I knew they were government. I knew they were government.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Okay, going ahead. Keep going.
But yeah, like I said, the chemistry between the three, and then I love that aspect. I thought they were a great team, and they're all likable characters that you wanted to survive. Yeah, and I'll get into the rest of that later. But I love the team. I love the formation. And then I thought the funny part was him going over the plan, and I'm like, come on, this is not going to go to plan.
No, definitely not.
And then this was never going to go to plan. Like, really?
You know what this reminds me of, though, too? It reminds me of that old PlayStation 2 game, Zombie Island.
Oh, yeah, Zombie Island, yeah. Or is it Zombie Island or Dead Island?
Dead Island.
Yeah, Dead Island, yeah.
But yeah, that's what it reminds me of, though, dude, because I remember playing that survival video game, and everything is basically close enough to that plot. Except one thing, you're not having a heist or anything like that. Yeah. But, you already know it's going to go south. You already know that this billionaire has a plan to kill them probably as soon as they open the vault. Or even they already know that probably they're not even going to get close enough to the vault to do anything. So they might actually have to call in somebody else to do it after them.
Yeah.
And everything, too. Yeah. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, though, too.
Yeah.
But another thing I want to mention is this. The zombies also have their own dialect, their own dialogue. And everything too, which also feels like the Land of the Dead with John Leguizamo to me, because you actually had one zombie that was actually smart, and he was able to communicate with the other zombies. So I thought that was really cool on that that they actually Zack actually put some thought into it, but they didn't have no dialogue. But you didn't really need to have dialogue for this. I don't feel like you did to actually have the communication between the two. But then you also have one of the other guys from Sons of Anarchy in this movie too.
Oh yeah, Theo Rossi.
Yeah, Theo is just.
He always plays the douche prick characters, and he's very typecast. It's like, oh, I'm tough guy, I'm a badass. And like, no, really. Like, I knew instantly when she brought him along, the coyote brought him along. Oh, can I see your gun? I knew instantly she's gonna shoot him. She's gonna shoot him, and he's gonna be bait. Like, I just knew that was gonna happen, and it was just that. The other, and then also like, and how he got involved in this is because and which I picked up a little bit later in the movie that about the girl that was for when I was wondering why are they focusing on this refugee camp with this girl and the girl Kate? Then I realized, and then after they showed the nightmare that or the horrible situation Batista had to deal with, how to put down his wife, and you see the girl's face, that his daughter. I'm like, oh, holy crap, that's his daughter. That's Scott's daughter, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's gonna be a part of this in some capacity. Which I think I liked how they kind of moved it along.
Me too. They didn't really pay that close attention to it or whatever. No, usually if a movie does this, they spend at least 10 minutes doing it. They only spend a total of 5 minutes bickering back and forth of why he doesn't want her there.
Yeah.
And everything, which is nice. Yeah. Also, too, Scott is also a passionate chef as well. So that's another thing. And also, too, I want to mention the YouTuber again and everything, too. Here's the thing. Mikey Guzman is actually one of my other favorite characters because he's just a YouTuber that's doing headshots for zombies, just going over there, just randomly shooting zombies in the head, getting likes, getting shares, and all that other good stuff. And yes, there is electricity in this movie because it only happens in one state. It does not happen in several other states or anything like that. So therefore, that's how they're able to get power and all that other stuff for YouTube and things.
Yeah, I was saying right now. We'll get into that.
Right. But yeah, I definitely love how Scott is dealing with his own guilt for killing Kate's mother. And then he's also thinking, because of the fact that he ends up having to kill Kate's mother, is why she's even pissed off at him. But no, it was after the fact that, you know, he wasn't there for her afterwards. He wasn't there for Kate. So that's why she has this beef against Scott for just abandoning her. Everything, and that's actually how she feels. Lily is another badass, though. To be honest with you, that's the one that winds up shooting the douchebag in the leg.
Oh, like the Coyote. Her nickname is Coyote.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually knew her real name, and you have her nickname, but the Coyote.
Because she was in the refugee camp. Because earlier on, like, I mean, when this scene, there's like this mom's like, oh, I need to get out of here. I need to escape. Yeah, that's really smart when you have no knowledge, no expertise, and yet you want to go into the area. Just like you weren't ever going to steal that money because you'd be instantly dead. But yet you're so adamant about, oh no, I need this money. I need this money. Look what happened to you. You died. Right. Like your kids, you're selfish. Like, yeah, you're trying to protect your kids. That's fine. But I don't know, maybe not like go into the area and risk your life and leave your kids without a parent. I mean, come on. And then well, look what, guess what? Her parents, their kids lost their mom. I mean, come on. I mean, you're selfish that guy. I'm glad it was minor. But it was like, it kind of like, and of course, it just kind of moved the plot along a little bit. But I don't think they really need to have those kids, like the mom and the kids in this movie, to be honest.
To be honest with you, that didn't really do anything for me. They were just secondary to me. It'd be different if they actually made it out of it and they have some type of.
Yeah. Huh? I said, I was about to quote T.J. Miller from Deadpool. I don't know. Might move the plot. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, you don't see briefly them. And sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
That's okay. But I felt like that was like another little small nitpicky thing for me. You're going in there to save them just to kill them, and it doesn't do anything for you to move the plot or anything like that.
No.
So it would be different if they actually, made it through it. But they didn't, spoiler. But
this is a spoiler review. So if you're here watching this expecting, I want to hear how great this movie is, you'll get that. But you also get some spoilers. So we're going to go into spoilers. So if you're watching this now and you have not seen this movie, stop what you're doing, watch it, and then watch it later.
Okay, so let's go on ahead and talk about this for a minute. Now, here's the thing. I've always wondered in the zombie apocalypse about other animals becoming zombies and stuff like that. How about you? Do you ever wonder that?
I don't want to.
Well, I mean, do you ever just think about it? I'm like,
Not
well,
really. No, I just think of humans.
so I guess I'm the only demented one, I guess. But
I mean,
you're like, yeah.
you're wearing a demented shirt. I'm not.
Right. Well, anyways, in the back of my mind, I'm like, how is there anything such thing as like a zombie cow? Is there a zombie dog, zombie cats? Which we do see zombie dogs from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But demonic dogs. But you never seen a zombie tiger until you've seen Valentine and everything. And that is something that I really have to say that Zack uses imagination a lot on, was that. And the tiger looked good for CGI. I'm going to be honest with you. The CGI looked really gruesome for him.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's funny too because it's Siegfried and Roy's tiger. I mean, it's only fitting in Vegas there's a zombie tiger because it makes sense, which it all fit with the whole Vegas theme, which I really appreciate. Like, you're getting Vegas straight up. Like, if you don't like the state Vegas, if you've never been there, that's not a good representation what Vegas is because no. But if you want, like, if you're familiar with Vegas, you're getting that with this movie. Like, this movie is Vegas, 100% Vegas. It's flashy, colorful, lively or unlively. And we're gonna say that, but yeah, this is straight up Vegas. So if you're expecting Vegas, you're like, oh, what about a tiger? Yep, there you go.
And also, too, another thing, though, I really have to say Zack did a great job with. Each zombie has their own district on where they stay at. Like, you have the Olympus, which is actually owned by the Alphas. Yeah. Taken over by the Alphas. And then you actually have your slow, classic zombies in this other area, which I really like. I like that aspect of, it's like East Side, West Side kind of gang kind of thing, where you have two different types of things. But I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Zack just really dialed into his imagination on that. And then, of course, you're dealing with another thing, though, too. You're actually dealing with the queen of the Alpha. And this is what winds up happening, like you mentioned before, with Theo Rosie's character. We wind up seeing Coyote shoot him in the leg to sacrifice him, so that way they can have safe passage through where they can actually get to the casino that they need to get to break open this vault. And I thought that was very clever. We never seen that in a zombie film where you actually have communication between human and zombie.
Yeah, no, you don't want that. And it's interesting too. It depends, because like the other interesting thing I really liked in this is that there's the different types of zombies and what happens to you if you get bit by a normal zombie, then you're just normal zombie. If you get bit alpha, you're not instantly dead. You get their strength. You're fast. You're maybe not as agile as the top guy, which I thought that was like a really interesting dynamic they did about the different types of zombies. And that, like, I never thought about, like, never figured alpha zombies. You don't see that, but typically you don't until this movie. And like I really like this, seeing the different takes of them. Seems like they all like, and I thought it was really kind of funny in a weird way that when they get shot in the head, they kind of look robotic. I mean, some of the eyes kind of look up. I mean, I don't know if they were really it was kind of funny to see some of the headshots. You see some of them have like silvery blue come out of them. I'm like, okay, I'm interested how that unless that's how they filmed it, which would have been kind of cool. Again, I don't know. They definitely looked human, but just seeing a lot of the metallic bluish coming out, kind of like robotic, which I thought it was interesting to it.
Definitely an interesting twist to the zombie stuff and the zombie rules that we all grew accustomed to, between the zombie rules with Zombieland to The Walking Dead to other zombie apocalypse types of films. This is actually 100% original that Zack has actually thought of. And also too, if you actually think about it, I'm just going to call him King Alpha, because that's what he looks like. He looks like a king. Yeah. Of all the alphas. And I thought he was just fucking badass, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was the alpha that the government decided. You know what? Let's kidnap. Let's hold him hostage, and let's hold him. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
They like obviously Zack, and then I guess it's like, and since this is Zack Snyder's like FU to Warner Brothers, so essentially keeping let's just say the brute or what, let's say the government, and this like I'm doing this like analogy. The government, the military in the beginning of the movie was Warner Brothers, and the guy in the cage, the alpha, is Zack Snyder. And when Zack Snyder's gone loose, he's killed everybody in Vegas, like the alpha, and that's his fan base right there. That the zombies in that whole area were the fan base of the Snyderverse. Well, let's just say this is a huge middle finger to Warner Brothers, because I think the thing is, this was supposed to be with Warner Brothers, and it was supposed to be a Warner Brother movie, but Netflix bought him on this. Let me get some real facts on that one. I'm pretty sure. I think
it was distributed by Netflix and stuff like that. By the way, it was supposed to be. It was in development hell at Warner Brothers. To be honest with you,
go figure.
Yep, several years in development at Warner Brothers before having the rights bought by Netflix in 2019.
Yeah, it was actually Universal and Warner Brothers were on board to co-produce the project. And then after the lingering development of hell for a number of years, Netflix acquired it. I think they bought I got it for 90 mil. That's the budget. It was 90 mil.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so again, this is another middle finger to Warner Brothers. Fuck you, bitch. Like, I mean, he like you said, Warner Brothers. If I'm Warner Brothers right now, I'm like, shit, we fucked up because you did that. You like Zack Snyder got his Justice League on HBO Max, and it's that, and now you got people clamoring for hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Now he did this movie too, and I'm like I said, hopefully he does well, because again, it's the hard part of Netflix. It's hard to see what does well and what doesn't do well, because they cost a lot of money, but you don't know how much money they're getting. Are they getting it for views or what? I don't know.
Well, it was also at the movie theater for a limited time as well.
Yeah, last week. So,
yeah,
for about a week.
Right, I made 780,000.
Yeah,
which
so I don't know.
Yeah. After seeing this, it should have made more. To be honest with you, if it wasn't a Netflix film.
Yeah,
it would have made
more. Yeah.
Right. Another thing too is the alpha leader's name is Zeus, and so I definitely like Zeus, and of course the Queen, and then then you wind up having the douchebag guy who works for the military, Martin, who winds up taking his gun, shooting her, and trapping her in with this net that comes out of his gun, and then he takes he does like an let me think of the word, piano wire.
Oh yeah,
and chops her head off,
Hitman style.
Yep, and basically just puts it inside this bag, and he goes, "I'm gonna make my own zombie apocalypse and everything." And that wasn't even part of the agreement that Coyote and him set up. No. It was supposed to just be like a small drop of blood or something like that to actually formulate the thing. He goes, "Do you know how much I can get on the black market for this?"
Yeah, I can control my own army. I'm like, but it was beforehand, like everybody didn't trust him, and that's funny, because I was glad that everybody, even Chalmers, and Chambers. I got him like, and he's like, "Oh, what are you checking on my ass?" Like he's been all snarky, but Chambers knew it was up. So the sequence where he betrays her is. They have to, which I thought this was a well shot, like scary moment where all the zombies are in hibernation or some sleep, and they have to go through them.
What's the name? I didn't. No. This is me just kicking out a little bit. I wasn't trying to silence you. I'm sorry, but okay. Remember that Will Smith movie that came out?
Oh, I Am Legend.
Tell me if you didn't get no I Am Legend vibe off of that.
A little bit. Like I just knew it was very like, don't say a word or like a quiet place. You need to, if you touch them or any sudden movements will or sounds will wake them up. And of course, Chalmers being the douche that he is, Scott's been used these green lights to do a path to get through. Scott froze it all, like not Scott, Martin, which I mean, kind of sounds like a douchey name anyway. His character, I mean, he just looked douchey. He looked like he felt like he was a total badass, but he was really scared of the tiger, which we'll get into in a minute. But he froze the green light to get Chambers off his back, just get her killed, and she almost got there too. And then all of a sudden the pants drop, and that's when all hell broke loose. And oh man, like that was her moment right there. Like that was smart, stabbing like the zombie right immediately in the head, and it keeps him quiet, which I thought was great. Mm-hmm. But then when she went berserk, she had to pull out her dual pistols and start going out. And Martin, being the coward that he is, he's channeling his inner Burke from Aliens, locking the door so she couldn't get in. I wanted him to die so much sooner than he did. And then all of a sudden, where is she? Then she comes bursting through the glass, like you thought she was gonna survive, and it was just and see her like, and then the zombies just overtake her. But that was an awesome action sequence for her. She was a badass in that sequence.
She was definitely a badass to me because I really liked that. I really liked what she brought to the table whenever it came down to that. To be honest with you.
You thought she was a YouTuber too. It's like, oh no, this is a partner of mine. And then of course and like when they did the team thing, the other guy, dude, you didn't say anything about zombies. I'm out of here. And like the guy runs away like a wuss. I'm like, okay, but the girl, like she was badass, and I wanted her to move on, like continue on, because she would have had so many more like moments, like. I think she was like this version, like because the team squad kind of seemed like remind me a lot of Aliens, the military people. Chambers' character remind me so much of Vasquez.
She does, if you actually think about it, though. Too.
I mean, like, she had the same type of bandana on. She was like no nonsense, like no government bullshit or no like didn't trust anybody, and she was just and the irony, both of them kind of blew up in a sense, but. She, like I said, she was like that was an awesome sequence. But yeah, I love that sequence, and then so that was a great sequence, and then this is all in they finally get to the Bellagio Hotel or wherever the location the money is,
right?
And they split up afterwards.
Right. Another thing I want to mention about Chambers, though. Yeah. To be honest with you, man, I love the stunt work. The way she was moving really fast within that whole entire zombie aspect into their world was just phenomenal and badassery. To be honest with you, and then you're rooting for her to get out of there.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you see Scott go, "Where's Chambers at?" And then here's Martin. He goes, "I don't know where she's at." Playing it off, because don't forget he actually locks.
Yeah, he walks her out. Yeah, that's where that's when I mentioned he channeled his inner Burke, because Burke locked them like in the Aliens movie. Burke locked Ripley and the team in the one location, so that's what he did to lock the door to keep her from that while she was still kicking some serious ass. Like you didn't know, like you wanted her to get out, like you didn't know when she's gonna get bit, if at all. But the way she was just instantly like running out of bullets, reloading the gun instantly, shooting more, like using the knife, like she was very John Wick-esque, and it was awesome.
It was awesome just to see her kick some ass, to be honest with you. And then all of a sudden, she just flies out the window, like starts just blasting through everything, plowing through all the zombies, and then finally she gets bitten and everything. And I like how Scott looks at her in pain, because he knows he has to leave her behind, and he doesn't want to leave her behind. Even his own partner, even YouTube. The YouTube guy doesn't even want to leave her behind either. No. And Mikey doesn't want to leave her behind.
No. And he did the best thing by shooting the gas tank and making an epic explosion, killing out a bunch of zombies in the area, which, I mean, like, there's a lot of zombie mayhem.
If it wasn't for self-sacrifice, they would have actually had to deal with a whole shitload of zombies, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So, I mean, in this case, she got bit, so there's nothing you can do for them, unfortunately. So you have to kill them before they turn. And like I said, it's a bummer. They had to kill her, but she took out so many zombies. And
Right,
it was a great moment. Great moment.
And then finally we make it into the casino and everything too.
Yeah.
Where Batista and all them are basically trying to put the power on. Kate puts the power on. And then that also goes into where the safe is and everything. But the way the safe is actually set up, it looks like Indiana Jones kind of style and everything too. But also too, you actually see skeletons in this thing where you actually see them where other people were down there trying to do the same thing that they were doing. Which also leads me to believe the billionaire hired another group of people to do this, and maybe Martin backstabs them all. And leads and that's why the billionaire couldn't get his money. Or anything like that.
Yeah. Like I knew oh, go ahead, sorry.
It's just all a recycled thing because it's like, okay, well, those people didn't make it, so now we gotta assemble another crew to go ahead and go down there. But here's the thing. Do you think that the billionaire knew that Martin was backstabbing other people? Or do you think that was just something that was self-inflicted on himself, where he basically just went on ahead and took them out without him knowing?
Oh, no, he knew. Because the billionaire told him to. Like, because obviously the billionaire told him to, because obviously in that meeting, you had the military people. You had the U.S. military people there. And they're all on board. They're all in the meeting, and they said, yeah, he's in. You knew the military, they always do this shit. No matter whatever movie, if they find somebody that they're like that's more superior than they do, they want to, take a sample, like just take a sample of it and weaponize it. Because that's all of that. That's like, I mean, Martin was bad. Like I knew he was bad, and I kind of knew the Asian guy was kind of bad too because he was with the military. Because the alternative motive, you just knew Martin was going to do it, and he's like, and yeah, I mean, I knew instantly he was bad, and because they found the other blueprints of the safe right on the lower level of the lobby level of the hotel, and they knew instantly that something was up. And then of course Martin was like, "Oh, I didn't know. This is a coincidence that this was here too." Like, and then the other thing too is the black guy, the Vanderho. He knew. He was pretty much summing up like what if this is just a what if we're in a loop, a consistent loop of us because each one of them kind of looked like they did the like that. One person had a Hawaiian shirt. They did the coincidence of what are these military people that are currently dead right here and skeletons? What if that's really us and we're just in a loop? Like, I mean, Vanderho
kind of like Edge of Tomorrow meets Groundhog's Day meets this universe.
I mean, he called it and pretty much saying, what if this is really us? I mean, from you and I just watched it could be a lot of foreshadowing from what just happened. But I thought that whole sequence with the safe, like the Indiana Jones traps, was funny. Like Vanderho and I got this. And then he comes up with a zombie and forcing him to go through all the crap.
And then
I thought it was hysterical.
Me too. I was laughing at that dude, like for real. Like then also too, he's like, "Okay, go forward." The next thing you know, he starts going back to. He winds up killing that one. He goes, "I'll be right back." Then he goes on ahead, gets out another zombie, and takes his hand off, and then
he microwaves it.
He microwaves it, and then he throws it whenever he brings him back up the elevator.
And you see all the traps.
And then it's like tranquilizers, and then after the tranquilizers, it was
bullets.
Then after the bullets, and my favorite part though was when the black dude asked the other guy, he's like, "So the safe cracker?" He goes, "So that's it?" He goes, "Yeah, I think so." And then the zombie's just looking, gets chopped in half,
and it doesn't even open halfway. You just see the guts. And stuff, the blood of the zombie like solidify, and it's like, okay, they got to go through it. I mean, that sequence was like, I mean, this movie's not a comedy, so don't we're laughing. There's some comedic moments in it.
Some dark humor, yeah.
It's dark humor. It's calm before the thunder. But this was funny. Like this, the instance, and then So the other thing that's going along too is they have a certain deadline to get out of this area too, because they're going to nuke it, because that's typically how the government answers all their problems. When they fuck up, let's nuke it. Yeah. Like, and then so they thought they had a later deadline, like, okay, we got some time to do this. Oh no, they're pushing it up because they feel like it. So we only have 90 minutes to get out of here.
And not only that, but it was supposed to happen on 4th of July. Then they decided to move it up.
Yeah. Because
everything too.
Wink, wink. Government is they screwed up and they didn't want to fix their mistake, because they whenever time they make a mistake, they need, like, the answer is always nuke it. No matter what, it's always nuke it. And it's like I mean, it's very, like, it's a very formulaic. Like, you just know when, like, yeah, it fits for this one, but it doesn't always work all the time. You just get kind of tired. I'm like, come on. Come on, guys, stop making this mistake. Seriously, you don't need to weaponize everything. It's just, it kind of takes away from it a little bit, because you just know they're going to screw up, and it's like, and like you're like, man, they really hate this team. What is this movie doing in this team? You want them to survive, not kill them all.
Right. Another thing though too is I forgot to mention this though too. Z's the zombie alpha also has a baby zombie.
Oh yeah, that was creepy.
And everything too, which I love Zack for this though too. The imagination behind it, that, to be honest with you, about having a zombie baby, because I never thought that they could reproduce or anything like that.
No, neither.
And you know yeah. It was cool but creepy at the same time. But let's go on ahead. We'll go back to talking about after the safe.
Okay, so they get the safe. Dieter is kind of funny in this one. After, like, he's like, "Hey, can you?" He's like, shh, he's talking. You just made me screw up, because I screw up again. This mechanism, like, Dieter knows what he's talking about, obviously, with the safe. So eventually, they get the safe open.
Like, but also too, he goes, "I need some more time. I need more time." And he goes, and all of a sudden you hear beep, 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 beep.
30 minutes.
I'm like, I just started laughing my ass off. I'm like, all that for 30 minutes.
Well, they only had 90 minutes. They had an hour and a half. And so they would have had an hour to get out. And and by the way, the pilot, Peters, the plane's shit. The helicopter's shit. So you just know. Yep. And she's like, and then her reaction to it is like, no, I'm just getting a suntan up here. And it's like that. He's like, man, he spent so much fucking money on that cheap ass plaster model. And yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny. But so anyway, they get the and while this is going on too, Kate decides to have alternative motives while she's doing them. She's trying to save this Spanish mom, this mother of her kids at these at the camp. Gita is trapped with the alpha, so Kate had to, like, you know what, I gotta save them. So right after they get the money and they're about to head on down, Kate disappears, and then, like, all the while on the way, the alpha finds out his mate is dead, so they summon all the zombies to come to the location of the hotel. So Kate's in the middle of it, and Scott's like, "Damn it, I gotta save her." And then his partner, I believe, is I think, yeah, Maria. Maria is like, "All right, I'm going with you." And then all of a sudden the elevator opens. Zombie, like, the alpha's like, the zombies are on the elevator, snaps her neck. She's instantly dead.
And here's the thing, I didn't even expect that, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't. That was too soon.
I was like, oh shit. Like, I was making my notes, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I look up and she goes, "I'm gonna go with you." All of a sudden I'm like,
instantly dead.
I've rewinded it like 2 times just to make sure what I saw.
Yeah. I'm like, and then that one Batista went on full on Batista mode. That was awesome.
He went Batista bombs and shit. I mean,
he was just awesome, man. That was great. Like, and then the one guy, the zombie, was kind of like the hipster, and when I was just ducking him and all that stuff, and then Batista just grabs him and this, "I've had enough of you." And then, so,
you know what I called him though? I called him rap battle zombie. where basically he's a break dancer. So I'm calling him like break dancer zombie is what I call him.
Break dancing, death style. And then of course, Martin, of course, like, and then, so before earlier on, like, you kind of see the bait and switch, like you see the coyote, she because in the bag was the head that the government was gonna use to weaponize. Coyote does this smart, and it was very, very quick, but he kind of knew she was gonna do it. Replaces the head with the money counter. So Martin escapes, and being Martin, he locks them in. Bye guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go kill your helicopter buddy, and I'm gonna fly out myself out of here. He escapes for a while. We'll get to that.
Yeah, and then that's when Coyote goes on here and gets the chainsaw.
Yeah, she steals the chainsaw while the other guy
cuts for the wall.
Yeah, to cut for the wall. In Vanderhoof, he feels like, you know what? I'm taking this guy out. I'm gonna box this guy. He's getting his ass kicked by the zombie. And it's just like, come on. Like, I just seen that. I'm like, boo. I was like, boo. And it was like, come on, you're ripping away that pleasure of us seeing him actually use the buzzsaw. Because you've been teasing it the whole movie. That's a badass weapon. I mean, I gotta focus on the weapon. Because like, that is cool. That is so cool. And like, I really wanted to see him use it in that portion. Unfortunately, that does not happen. I am pissed at that. That's one of my pet peeves, like one of my bummers. You hype up that weapon, yet you don't use it in the movie. You just use it. Oh no, it's cut open the wall. Somebody else could have picked it up and used it. What an underwhelming use of that. You're hyping that. You see it briefly in the beginning. That's great and all, but there's an army. We need to have them use it. Come on.
Right.
And then so he's about to get killed. And Dieter pushes him into the vault, shuts it, so Dieter's practically dead. While everybody else is like, he sacrificed himself. And then everybody else is still they cut a hole for the wall, and then there's a lot of there's a lot of cool sequence, like zombies exploding, so zombie guts flying on the wall. So there's some good action in this. So Vanderhoof's in the vault, and then we're left with the coyote, the YouTuber, and Scott, and the three of them are in the lobby area, and that's when an epic that was another epic action sequence was that sequence that right there.
Because here's the thing, I like it whenever Batista goes on ahead, he's shooting everybody, Batista bombing all the zombies, and not only that, but he kicks a roulette table and shoots the zombie at the same time. You see him fighting these zombies, stabbing them in the head. He's pissed off.
Oh yeah, and he's running on the tables too, running and shooting like in these casino tables. They're not big at all. He's running through them like nothing, like he's running on water, and he's shooting them. And then unfortunately, the YouTuber gets bit. And I'm like, oh, another one gone. And he sacrifices himself by throwing a bunch of grenades, like pulling a bunch of grenades, and then all the zombies like. You figure these guys were smart. You figure they might be smart. Everyone's jumping on the entire thing. Epic explosion. And a lot of carnage. There's I'm pretty sure at least 100 plus zombies were killed in this movie. Like, there's a lot of carnage.
And also, too, we also forgot to mention that Zeus or whatever the alpha thing is, he has like a metal helmet protecting his head to where he can't get shot in the head.
Yeah,
and everything too. We forgot to mention that, which
sorry.
Which felt like very Viking-esque. If you actually think about it, it felt like more like a Viking.
Yeah, so that's smart. That was a lot of like and these zombies, the alphas, they're not dumb. They're smart. Like that helmet. That I also thought it was kind of funny when they're in the elevator. It's like, do you really? And the song's playing. Do you really want to hurt me? And then you see the other zombie come out, and it's like the big alpha one. I thought the music was hysterical. Yes. It fit this movie perfectly. But the elevator music is "Do you really want to hurt me?" And like everybody's dead. Of course.
Right. And also too, I like how you have that little moment between Coyote and Scott. They're both looking at each other whenever the elevator's door shuts. Yeah. And "Do you really want to hurt me?" by Culture Club is playing. And they're both like, really? Yeah. But, it's like, I just love that. I just love each little small nod to each thing. Feel with the music and everything is just perfect.
So the next scene that was poetic justice. Martin gets out and he's checking. Oh, do I have the head? He finds out he has the money counter, not the head. He's like, shit. Then he hears breathing. It's the one fear, the whole movie, the one zombie he was afraid of the most. Siegfried and Roy's Tiger Valentine. And that tiger ripped his ass up, like tore him up. Yeah, and then the thing is, she munched on his head. He
Right.
did.
You know what though? I was like, what the hell? He's still alive? Because I remember saying that out loud. I actually said that out loud because she's clawing at his face, doing stuff to his face, disfiguring his face. I'm like, what the hell? He's still alive? And then all of a sudden she just chops at his head. I'm like, well, never mind. I'm satisfied.
And then head completely gone and and Kate is in the other, I think the Olympus Hotel trying to find the dumbass people. I felt like, well, we're going out on our own. We don't have any weapons or anything. We're going out on our own. Like they got caught by the Alpha. So Kate's found them and oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering, hey, whatever happened to that Theo Rossi character, the prick? Oh yeah, he got turned into an Alpha. So you just knew it was setting up a Kate versus him, because versus the Theo Rossi character, because you just knew it was setting up that when we find out
his name is Cummings.
Yeah, Cummings. You knew Bert was going to get his Cummings to him by Kate. Because they're setting this up. I mean, this was pretty predictable. So she's in the hotel, and Batista and the pilot, I forgot her name. Sorry. It was Peters. Peters shows up. We need to go to the hotel. Oh, by the way, they only got maybe a couple minutes before they were dropping the nuke. Anyway, so Batista finds them, and he just manhandles that bed. And I mean, I gotta admit, Kate handled her own against the zombies, instantly, not wasting too many bullets, took out every single one of them that was coming to her. Oh yeah. So if you didn't know, Cummings died, headshot instantly.
My question is this: were you hoping for maybe a little bit more of a battle between Kate and him a little bit more? I know that he's a zombie and everything, but I wasn't sure if you were looking for maybe a lot more of a fight between them, since he's actually stronger than she is.
Not really. He was an asshole. I mean, I wanted to get him done quick because they didn't have a lot of time. That's the thing. There's a nuke going off, so they didn't have a lot of time. So it made sense to finish that up. And then then Batista was fighting the he shot with a grenade launcher, and you figured, okay, the brute's dead. They're on the helicopter, and what do you know? Oh yeah, so before then, Coyote dies because Coyote felt like taunting the Alpha with the head of his mate. He chucks a giant metal spear at her, so she stuck to the wall, and I think and then he just chokes her out, and she drops the head, so that's instant head ground mush, instant mush. So the brute jumps on the helicopter while that one was a cool sequence, and then I was like, okay, can he win? And then I saw him get bit. I'm like, oh. So that sequence was cool of how she was driving the helicopter while the nuke was going off. Essentially that crashes. Giant a propeller comes in and hits the pilot, which I mean I kind of saw that coming. So pilot's dead. So Peters is dead, and then oh, what do you know? The Spanish Egita, she dies in the helicopter crash too. Really? Did you get the money? No. Was it really worth it? No. Your kids don't have a mom? Yeah, nice going. That's on you. And then Kate survives. I figured. And then you see Batista after he gets bit. He's just that was a downer for me. I gotta admit, I wanted him to live. He was the one character that I wanted to live the most. And he gets bit by the Alpha, turns in the Alpha, so Kate has to shoot him in the head. Right. And then as soon as that happens, helicopters show up, and so she's supposedly safe. There was a lot of questions unanswered regarding that. But go ahead, John, if you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, for me, I had a feeling that Batista would have probably was going to die, sacrificing himself for his daughter. That's what I was thinking. So therefore, it wasn't really let down by that. But I was let down by some of the other characters that I was hoping that would actually survive, but didn't. But at the same time, though, the way they went out was really honorary to me. I mean, I really liked how they all sacrificed themselves for a reason rather than something that didn't really fit in. And then also, too, I liked how, Coyote sacrificed herself.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was satisfaction to me.
Yeah. Again, like I wanted him to survive. It just felt like the all this potential and then the downer for me. It's just I wanted him to survive. And then we're just left with unclosures. What's gonna happen to Kate? What is she gonna do next? Like these unanswered questions, I just feel unfulfilled at the end of it. And then then you have the black screen. You think it's over. Then all of a sudden you see coming out of the vault. It's like Vanderhoof. I'm like, oh, okay, he survived. Cool. And he's with the money. Then you see him drive the car, get on the airline, and then him drink a drink. And I didn't pick up on it because it happened so quickly. Then he was on the airline and he faints. He starts to faint. He's like, no, I'm fine. I just gotta get some water and stuff. And then he looks in then he looks in this goes in the bathroom, looks in the mirror. He's checking his arm. You see he got bit. And they're going to New Mexico. That's how they end the movie. I was like, come on. Talk about no lack of closure on that one. Again, I like movies that have closure or some sort of I like the happy endings. I don't like anything left unsolved. I don't like anything gives you a sour note. But this ending gave me a sour note. Like I don't like these type of endings. It might the ending for me might drop my review a little bit because the action and the movie had so much greatness to it. Like the action was great, zombies were great, there's a lot of great moments. But the ending is just it just ended on a sour note. I'm like, I don't know, I don't even know how I can use a sequel. Like, oh, New Mexico is gonna become the next state because he's coming to Alpha. He doesn't have anything to kill himself with. Like it just. I don't know. That's just me personally, but yeah.
Hoping that he would actually make it out alive with the money and everything. Because I get this. I actually forgot about him being locked in the vault with all that other stuff going on. I just forgot about it. And then he comes out of the vault. He winds up hotwiring the car. He goes over to the airport. And you know what? I was actually thinking that airplane belonged to the Japanese rich guy. And I was also thinking the stewardess were actually poisoned the champagne.
Drink. Yeah, I thought that too.
Because I'm thinking, okay, and he's also thinking this too, I think. I don't know, but he goes, why don't you have a drink with me?
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe on that level.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then when you find out he got bit, I'm like, or bit or scratched or whatever. I was like, oh, and then an instant credits, and I was like, oh, this is a downer. Like, I mean, like I said, I wanted to see him because he was like family to them. I wanted to see if he was going to check on Kate, to see what happened to the rest of the team, and it didn't. And then I wanted to see the Japanese guy get it because I didn't like him. I wanted the government to get effed over because they screwed up. This is their mess, and innocent people had to die because they fucked up. And this instant lack of closure for me is this kind of it definitely is a big issue for me personally, but that's just me.
You see, I felt the same way you did about the Japanese guy. I wanted him to get his end, to be honest with you. I was thinking maybe the guy was going to fly out to his condo or I was thinking that he might actually fly out to his condo or wherever he lives at and go over there and probably turn into a zombie and then kill him that way.
Yeah. I mean, at least something.
Because here's the thing. In Land of the Dead, John Leguizamo winds up doing something similar to that.
But again, that ending was that. So overall, I liked the movie. I love the action. The action sequences were fantastic. Zack Snyder, the zombies were cool. I love the team, the chemistry with the team. Some flaws I had. I thought it was a little too long. It could have been a lot shorter. I did not care for the side characters of Gita, the other random girl that dies or whatever. I don't know whatever.
Right.
Like the team of 3 that escape, like because they want to get the money themselves when they're not instantly trained. I didn't care for them.
Here's the thing. I feel here's the thing. I know that we rarely agree on some of the points and everything and stuff like that when it comes down to things sometimes, but I am in agreement with you when it comes down to those characters because they're very wasted. Because it was like Kate went there for no reason, just for them to die at the end of it.
I mean, you could have saved some time, and you could have been out of there sooner, and your dad would have been alive, and you would have made me happy of having Batista live.
Right. But for me, I was actually satisfied with the ending, though. I was actually satisfied with the way how it had ended and everything. I didn't have no problem with that. The runtime for me, it didn't feel like a 2.5 hours movie to me because of all the action and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do feel like too that it could have actually been easily straight up just 2 hours.
Or 2 hours and maybe 2 hours 5, 2 hours 10.
Right.
It could have been a lot. Like you can take away the side character portion, and that would have cut down on it. Or maybe just have that one appearance of the kids and like in opening when you see that Theo Rossi character Cummings being a dick, like, hey, like, and like it's like, are you guys sick? I'm gonna check you. Like, you can just do that portion and then leave the mom and the kids out of it. And the random other 2 girls that are with her, do you have any training? Seriously? You really think you can make it on your own? You got caught by the Alpha. You would have been instant mincemeat. No, and then your selfish act killed Kate's dad because Kate had to save you.
Right.
And you're dead. But
there's some more stuff I want to mention though too. Like you mentioned, I like the zombies. I liked the differences between the 2 zombies. I like the whole entire thing dealing with the queen. I like the whole entire dealings with a zombie tiger. I love the originality that Zack Snyder did. I also like the foreshadowing with the music and stuff like that. I feel like it was actually captured Vegas in an apocalyptic kind of style. But yeah, another thing though too is with Kate killing Batista at the end, killing Scott. I feel like that was actually the hard choice that her father had to make whenever he had to kill the mother. So it's kind of like paying a little bit of foreshadowing about what Scott had to do.
I know. I mean, and then to have the helicopters show up right after that, and we don't know what happened to Kate. Like, did she make it to college? Does she do the food truck that her dad wanted to do? Like, these are all these questions that you could have. I mean, I kind of want to know this, to be honest.
Well, hopefully it might happen in the Blu-ray or whatever. But for me, though, I was actually satisfied with it. I mean, to me, I think that she's safe from the government, safe and everything. That's just me speculating. We just have to wait and see.
We thought the military was safe too, and they felt like, oh, let's transport this thing. Oh shit, we let the monster out. Like when they now, like, again, they're gonna probably nuke something again anyway because they screwed up. They can't. They're trying to unfuck what they did and they can't do it. But like, I mean, like I said, I hate the side characters of Gita and her 2 girls. Them going on around, that was not cool. That was stupid. And like and then it was just selfish and not needed. And I hated how a lot of the team went out. To be honest, I'm glad they went out that way, but I wanted more people to live. I didn't want the only survivor to be Kate. And then like her as the only survivor was like, it was just kind of a downer. And then of course the ending. I hated how they ended it. I think they could have done a lot better. They could have done something to Remy and not leave it on that closure, like you're gonna get a sequel. I don't like. I mean, I don't. Who would you get in the sequel? You can't do Batista. You killed him off. I'm like,
John Cena.
He's busy. He's busy doing the Fast and the Furious right now.
I'm just kidding.
I know, but it just the way it just ended on a sour note, and it was like I really didn't want to end it that way because I was going to give this a really good review. I'm still going to give it a good review, but there's the ending is really just was just a sour note, and and that this really just that irked me.
So for me, I'm gonna go on ahead and say a 4.8 out of 5.
I'm giving it an 8. I think an 8 out of 10. I would have given it a 9 or closer to that. That definitely either or an 8 or a 9. Yeah, I would have given it a 9 if it didn't end that way, or it didn't have the minor characters that were just pointless because they died in the end. I got to give it an 8 because the action sequences were just awesome. You had likable characters. The zombies were great. The opening was great. The other downer too, teasing us about the buzzsaw. That was another downer. You didn't even use it. You used it in the beginning and you used it to open a door, not kill some zombies. Come on. God, if I want to use that, I'll use a buzzsaw in my zombie games. I'll use a chainsaw on that to get my fix. But still, that weapon was badass and you don't use it. It was very underwhelming. That's why I had to give it an 8. That'll do it for us for this review. We're glad you hopefully you enjoyed what you liked. If you haven't gotten a chance to see this movie yet, watch it and then watch what we have to think about it. If you get a chance, let us know what you think of this review and what you think of this movie in the comment section below on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're watching it. So from stuff like for our schedule down on the docket, John and I will hopefully be back tomorrow. So we're gonna be joining us with Sarah from the Who Got Go Get That Rose podcast to do our review for Silver Linings Playbook. That will be on. We'll be doing that at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And then John and I will be back again on Sunday, and we're going to be doing our Marvel May. We're going to be doing the Deadpool 2. We're going to review Deadpool 2. So looking forward to that. And then don't know what else we got going on next week, but we'll keep you guys posted. John, where can they find you at?
You guys can go on and find us at Movie Lovers TV Loves Unite on Facebook, as well as on Pinterest underneath the same name. Then you can also go on ahead and follow us on Instagram as well. And then you guys can go on ahead and follow us at Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter. And then follow me, of course, movieloversunite@gmail.com if you want to go on ahead and send me out an email. Also, too, go on ahead, see what we have over at movieloversunite.com. We actually post some movie news, movie reviews, and stuff like that. And then, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, too, do this, too. If you guys can, if you guys can't, I totally understand. But donate at our GoFundMe page at www.gofundme.com /Movie Lovers Podcast, and that's where you guys can actually donate to.
So yeah, those are all the places you can reach John and I at. Like I said, hopefully you like what you watched today, and look forward to doing some more content. So it was a lot of fun. We'll see you guys again next time.
All right, and always until next time, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. Can't wait to do this again. Come back and join us tomorrow night for Silver Linings Playbook and everything. We hope that you guys wind up loving that as well. Go ahead, give us a like, give us a share, and bye-bye.